Thank you. Thank you, SPOBIS, for inviting us, for inviting me to present Barca Innovation Hub. My background, I'm a physicist working in football, right, which is kind of strange. And it's something that we like to bring more profiles like this, profiles like physicists, data scientists, innovation managers to kind of transform, as La Liga was presenting before, the way we envision football as a huge potential tool to transform the world, to have an impact into society, right? And Barca Innovation Hub was launched 2 years ago with this main idea. We want to leverage our know-how, we want to leverage our brand impact in a way that we can have an impact into society, developing products and services that will change the way people behave, right? Let me start with a couple of examples of things that we do at Barca Innovation Hub in a way that you can start having insights on what kind of projects we are developing. This is a match that we played 3 years ago at the beginning of La Liga, and these are the stats that we got after the match. And this is the match that we played 2 weeks later in the Champions League, having similar stats. We won 7-0 on Champions League, and we lost 1-2 against Alaves. So that gives us some ideas of our analysts are always wondering how we can improve the way we can start evaluating our gameplay, our players more in a quantitative or in a more objective way that will have an impact on the insight that will they bring into the players, right? And that goes with all the data that we are gathering right now through many different providers are eventing data. You can have many types of data, but this only is data that's happening right here, right? With the player and the ball. But actually, the game of football is actually all of this, right? It's all what happened with off-ball events. So in a way, what we need is actually to start developing tools that will bring new insights on how we can start making quantitative analysis of the performance of the players when they don't have the ball. That's what we did with our sports analytics team. And if you see here, this is a really nice goal we scored against Real Madrid, last match that we had last November. In a way, with what we're trying to develop here is how we can start quantifying the spaces that creates the player through artificial intelligence that is enabled to quantify exactly how these players, how the movements of these players are actually developing these spaces for the teammates. And this is the paper that we co-developed with the MIT group to start quantifying space generation, space creation, and having new insights on how these players are behaving during the game, right? This is an example of sports analytics. Let me move right now into infrastructure development. As you probably know, we are fully renovating our stadium, not only the stadium, the surroundings also of the stadium. We're creating kind of a campus. And this is a perfect lab to actually test and develop products and services for infrastructure development that can be applied into sports venues, but at some point can also be applied to other venues. Let me show this video that showcases this tool that we developed with a startup company, Synchro Software. Oops. Sorry, this is the last video is not. Let me see if I can. Anyway, This was an example. The video is not running out. I don't know what's the problem. But anyway, this is an example for on planification tools, right? So we have augmented reality that is in a way that we can go to the construction of the new stadium and actually compare what has been planned and what is actually executing on the construction site. And through HoloLens, we are able to, on the construction site, see how is this comparison in between the planification and the execution side. Another example is, again, back into sports performance. With our performance team, we have developed a wearable that, in a way, gives us conditional variables that help us to measure the physical conditions of our players. And that was a project that we worked with another startup in the south of Spain, first helping them on the product design perspective, having user feedback from our players, and on a second phase, creating with them specific reports with specific KPIs that our physical trainers are willing to develop. So in a way, we are helping this company to integrate Barca's know-how into their daily reports. Let me share with you this another video that will showcase the wearable product. These are three examples of products that we help develop with companies in a way to fulfill our internal needs, but also to bring them into the market in a way that this Barca's know-how can also help grow the industry in a way that will bridge the gap that sometimes there is in between clubs and the enterprises, right? So let me go one step behind and why we're doing with this. And again, this comes back with this social impact, right? We understand that sports is a really transversal discipline that have a lot of impact in many tangible sectors that somehow compounds our daily life, right? And Barca Innovation Hub, what aims is to leverage knowledge and innovation that we can develop inside at FC Barcelona, but with an open mindset, collaborating with third parties, to transform the world through delivering this sports excellence, right? And how we want to do that is to creating a worldwide sports innovation center that will be a place where everyone can come and exchange experiences, exchange know-how, exchange different assets that we might have to develop projects that will have a benefit for the club, for the partner, and ultimately for the whole industry. These are the three main drivers that Barca Innovation Hub is based. Laboratory, open lab, ecosystem, and knowledge platform. If we think about the lab, right? We've got know-how, we've got users, we've got facilities, and all that can be shared, all that can be opened up, again, to many different types of stakeholders. Knowledge platform. We are now creating a digital space where we are aiming to bring a lot of different experts, open up also Barca's know-how in a way that we can become a place where everyone that wants to get skills development, that want professional education, that are willing to share their expertise, that they can find a place where this can be a change. Right now, we are starting of building first an online courses professional education platform, but this is just the beginning. We envision that as a first phase to create a community of professionals of sports that will start bringing their skill sets, that will start bringing their know-how, that start bringing their content in a way that we can start building up this community and be intermediating into different kind of stakeholders so they can start exchanging. So we understand that we can start working on a crowd research, open challenges, even crowd financing. So in a way, we are going from professional education online platform into a marketplace that will integrate different types of stakeholders. These are some examples that we are already developing, some platform, some online programs. As you may see, you have some professionals from FC Barcelona, but we also have professionals that we create and that we understand that are top leaders in their specific verticals. We also organize some conferences like this one, but the main idea of this conference is, again, the digital projections. How can this be content that can be shared globally in a way that everyone in the world can connect and get this expertise? And the ecosystem, and this is key, right? We understand that we are a sports club, but we are going into a sports company, right? And we see that working with other consolidated companies that can bring their expertise. And a good example for that is Rakuten partnership that we have. Of course, we have Rakuten in the shirt, but we are also developing specific projects where we bring both expertise and that we develop specific services for our fans together, right? We also work with universities and research centers. And again, the example of the MIT is one of the most recent ones. We are, by the way, presenting a new one in the next conferences this coming February. Startups and startup companies. Again, sometimes our feelings is that sometimes we are kind of slow. So we have to go with startups. We have to collaborate with them because they give us agility. They give us, being up to date. So bringing them up and their production capacities is, in a way, really useful for us to make that know-how that we have bring that know-how that we have into specific products. Investors as well. Most of the products that we have developed need financing, right? So for investors, it's also interesting to invest in these companies that at some point will have Barca's know-how and Barca's trademark saying and prescribing, saying, look, this is something that Barca has been developing with these startups. Of course, users. At the end of the day, we have this user-centric approach where iterating is key. And again, last one, sports clubs and sports institutions, especially on research, right? We have problems here. Sports research sometimes has the sample problem, right? Samples tend to be really, really small if we compare to any other sector, healthcare, whatever. They are much, much more bigger. And here, in preventing injuries, optimizing performance, all that type of research that is being doing for many different institutions sometimes needs having clubs coordinating themselves in a way that they can have bigger samples and get more robust results. This is how we structure the whole Barca Innovation Hub, and this again is also a key specific element of Barca Innovation Hub. We created 7 areas of knowledge that somehow mirror the key departments where we bring our daily operations, right? So we have 4 of them on the sports side and 3 of them on the business side, right? We have team sports methodology, which is based working with coaches. We have sports performance, working with physical trainers. We have sports analytics, working with analysts. Healthcare and wellness, working with doctors, nutritionists, and physiotherapists. Fan engagement, working with the IT and digital. Smart facilities, working with SPOBIS Barca, which is the team that is fully renovating the whole stadium and the operation side. And also social impact, working with our foundation. The key idea, or the key idea that we had at the beginning from a strategic point of view, is bringing people, key people that has a lot of experience, to go from the daily operations into the lab, to go to the daily operations from Barca Innovation Hub, and coordinating these areas in a way that they can select which projects are valuable for us and for the whole industry. And that can be research projects and also innovation projects. These are the 3 main goals of Barca Innovation Hub. We call sports and corporate excellence, and that has a lot to do with internal development, internal know-how development. Brand impact, and that's contributing to the more than a club, which is having a social impact, having an impact into the society, and then start generating new business models, new revenue streams that will bring from this know-how exposure, right? Let me finish with one short video that explains why Barca Innovation Hub and why more than a club, and how this Barca Innovation Hub is embedded in this more than a club claim.
You think you know me, don't you? I'm much more than that. You think I'm nothing more than my victories on the field. But it's more than just what happens out there. On the grass, on the pitch, on the court, in the biggest stadium in Europe, and even in places where grass never grows. Everywhere, without losing my love for my roots. You think I'm nothing more than my trophies. But what is a trophy? A girl's first soccer match? A boy with a baccalaureate certificate? A discovery? I know I'm not simple. There's no place for simplicity here. The score? That's just numbers for me. What matters is the way we reach our goals. The way others reach their goals. It's much more than just winning or losing. It's going all out to defend a unique style. On and off the pitch. I know I have a responsibility. That's what being powerful means. I can change a person's life. That's beautiful. That's challenging, but it's true. I can share my knowledge with those who can need it. I can make you look where nobody else is looking. I can be where others can't be. I can, so I have to. This is why I persevere to become better. Excellent. This is why I'm not just one person. I'm hundreds, thousands, millions. This is why we're different. This is why Barca is more than a club.
Dankeschön. Gracias.
Thank you very much.
Mundet.